Okay. Are you clapping? Was it me clapping
Well,
this time?
I mean, I felt weird because I had the mic in my hand.
Okay.
You could go either up all the way up to Moon and then take the escalator down to Playboy. And most nights we were at capacity. It was just wall-to-wall people.
I'm not going to say who it is. I'm just going to say he's an Olympic gold medalist. Did he really run across the tables naked?
And all of a sudden, you see one of our tables just
Oh my goodness.
flip over right in the pit. I can tell you, though, I was not in Playboy at the time. I was downstairs in the high limit room at Palms, the Mint, and had Lady Gaga for a Super Bowl.
Welcome back to Changing 100. This is Tori.
I'm Krystal, and we have a special guest.
Yay!
We have Victoria. Is it Victoria? We don't go by a shorter nickname? Okay. We have Victoria. We've been waiting for this day.
Scared?
Yeah. Well, you're scared, but we're excited. We're so excited because she worked at the Playboy Club that we keep talking about, that we're like was the epitome of party pit in Vegas. So we can't wait to get into all of those fun stories. But first, start with where did you come from?
Yes.
How did this all start? How we usually do with all of our guests. How did you get in the industry? All of that stuff. Do you have any questions you want to start off with?
No, just that.
Like, specifically?
Well, I want to know specifically what you did before gaming and then how you fell into gaming. There was a before.
I worked at Just for Feed at the forum shops.
The socks store?
No, it was a shoe store, and it just was the massive, biggest shoe store. The first one, when the forum shops first opened, before that new wing, it was just that little small shopping center. It was all the way at the end. I was the greeter, so I had to wear short shorts and sit there and jump up and down.
Oh, cute. It's a pretty girl work.
Yeah, a long time ago though. Long time ago.
So then when you turned 21, you were like, all right, I guess I'll start.
Actually, my mother, she was a dealer for 40
Okay.
40 plus
your
years.
mom
She
was
was
a
a
dealer.
Caesar. She started downtown. So when I was growing up, because I'm from here, we would go downtown. She didn't have a babysitter. She couldn't afford sometimes. So I would sit there while her shift and just chill at downtown.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was, she started off as a change girl. So I used to sit at the deli at Horseshoe for 8 hours and wait for her to get off of work.
Wow.
Grew up, she got to Caesars. She can afford a daycare now. Went to the one that was on Maryland Parkway in Flamingo.
Oh, wow.
UNLV.
So what is a change girl?
So, Change Girl actually had change on her. Real coins, because all machines had coins in them.
Oh.
So you had the big belt. It was metal, and you had change, nickels, dimes, quarters.
Oh, and it clicks
It clicked out.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So that was my mom. That's how she started.
Oh,
and she
nice.
started dealing at Golden Gate and got into Las Vegas Club, which is now Circa.
Yes.
And then got to Caesars. And when I was young, I found out how much dealers made. But back then it was different because blackjack dealers, they kept their own. Dice dealers kept their own. And
Okay.
we had something called Big Buck back then. So those people kept their own money, making muku bucks. So all my aunts, we call Ais in Chinese, they taught me how to deal Big Buck when I was 15. And I was like, okay, I'll try. So before I was even 21, I went to dealing school, the one behind Rio. It was ran by an interesting lady who was also part of the Gone group, Michael Gone and all them.
Oh, yeah.
So I learned we had to actually pitch cards, and I knew how to pitch, and she was shocked. And she goes, you got a job at Barbary Coast. So they had to wait till I turned 21. I went to audition on all 3 shifts, and then I got the job, and that's how it started.
And
Very
that's how it
nice.
started.
That's how it started.
That's wild. So did you ever leave gaming and then come back?
I tried cocktails maybe a year and a half until I wanted to hurt somebody really bad with my tray, and then I decided this wasn't the life for me.
Yeah.
I think you just answered my questions. Some people
Right.
tell me all the time, why don't you do cocktails? And I'm like, I don't think it's for me.
I would say thank gosh it was before the era of cell phones. It was like right on the verge because I wore the thong at Suncoast, and it was weird people taking pictures of your ass when you're at the well.
Yeah.
And it was just I'm happy that there was no proof. So
Yeah,
I think there's no proof. So
you're safe. You're not going to see your butt anywhere online.
Right.
But after that, I was like, yeah, I think I'm not cut out for this kind of work. And
Yeah.
I went back to dealing.
So back to dealing. Okay.
I had a really hard boss for baccarat, and when you messed up back in the days, we didn't have anything called HR. There was no such
Did
thing.
they whack you on top of your hands
They
with the
kick
wooden
you. They
stick?
throw things at you. They yell at you.
Yeah.
They called you every name under the book, and if you wanted your job, you'd be like, "Yes, ma'am. Okay, can I have
Wow, that's
another?"
wild.
But
How
it made you
things
a
have
dealer.
changed.
I
Yeah.
know. That's why I wanted to have the other person on that we were talking about earlier, because I was like, just to hear the difference from
Yes.
like
She'll
how
probably have a
Vegas
lot
has
more.
changed.
When
Yeah.
I started on the floor, I could still smoke in the pit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. You know what? When I went to dealing school, they used to tell me that they would go take shots on their breaks, or
Yes.
like they
Oh.
would take shots with guests at the
I
table.
wish we would
That-
have way
that
more
that
fun.
was like still a thing when they were dealing.
I always
Well, we
think
had the
of
clicker for the
great.
cocktail waitress. So
Okay.
that,
Oh, and a clicker.
because we only got 1 hour break when we were on the floor. So
Okay.
say you work 10 to 6, you got your break at 10. You're pretty much stuck there the whole day,
Yeah.
right?
Time.
So we had our ashtray, clicker for the cocktail waitress. She'd come bring me my cherry Coke with a lot of cherries. I'm scared. With a lot of cherries.
Almost lost the shelf.
And we'd just stand there and smoke and write. And, what the hell you doing? You know, yell at dealers
That's-
all day.
I picture that sometimes when I'm like on a dead game. I'm like, how great would it be if you just like have a cigarette on a dead
We
game
did.
Yeah.
and
We
just
did.
chill?
I miss those days too.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say that probably was a lot better for a guest experience too.
Yeah.
Because now I
Yeah.
always get the people that are like, well, at least you're happy. Like most dealers aren't happy, you know? But it probably made the experience more
Well,
casual.
Dealers
and
now, I guess, because the generation now, they don't like smoking, right? So that's good. Health.
Yeah.
Go health. Okay. So,
Right.
you know, they're just like this the whole time. He's smoking, and they're doing this on the table. It's
Yeah.
like, really, right
that
now.
all
See,
the
in my
time.
generation, if you did that, you got fired. So
Mm,
you're not supposed to do
mhm.
that. Those old school people, you know, we get used to it. It's a casino. You
Yeah.
smoke, you drink, you gamble. It's
Yeah.
the three
Right.
sins of Vegas.
That's how it was.
That's what you do. You got to put up with it. Now, you know, people calling you names and stuff like that, that you can cut. You know what I mean? You can only take so much, but we shouldn't have to take it.
Right.
These days and age, I would be scared anyways because these people are crazy. So
Yeah.
You never
Yeah.
know what they're capable of.
So did you work in the party pits at the gate and at Vegas? Did Vegas Club have a
Wait,
party
did they
pit?
have party
did
pits?
not
They
have
didn't have a party
There
pit.
was no such thing like as a party pit back then.
Oh.
We had the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They always had the pool pit. You know, when Hard Rock was the first casino that came up with the partying. And at that time, it was just starting with all the clubs. So
Mm.
I opened the Venetian. We had C2K. You don't know if you ever seen
No.
that was the club back then.
I was like, what's C2K? I was like, is
in
that a
my head, I
band?
was like,
It was C2K back at the Venetian. And Hard Rock was Babies. Where was Jungle? Jungle was in, I want to say maybe it was Mandalay Bay. I don't remember. Of course, Maloof's capitalized on it at the Palms. Crowded. It was fantastic. It was a great energy in that building at all times.
At the Palms?
At the Palms,
Yeah.
because we had, how many? 4 off the bat that I know of automatically. So you had 2 at the one tower, you had 1 at the one tower, and you had 1 in the back rain, right? Which is now chaos. So just 4 lines from those places all the way back to the back of the casino to where the West Garage is. There's just lines and lines of people trying to get up into these clubs.
Wow.
It was incredible. Just packed every day. We had stars. We had everything. It was just
That's
insane.
fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
That's fun.
So for the pools, the pits and the pools, was it like girls in bikinis back in the day or no?
Yes.
It was?
It was.
Okay.
Again, wasn't too many. The Hard Rock pool back in the day was the very first, I think, of the the big party and the girls and the. Now it's everywhere, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
that was like
The first kind of.
when we all got off of work. It was the Circle Bar at the Hard Rock. We were there partying. It was crazy, but you know, it was fun back then. It was really fun back then. Yeah.
I loved Hard Rock. I was sad when they closed.
Yeah, me too.
That was such a great.
It was a great.
It was a great hotel and casino. I just heard that Virgin might be closing. Yeah, they're really not doing well.
That's not.
They're very slow.
That's
all the
sad.
time.
Yeah, it is sad. It is sad because I'm like, Hard Rock could have just stayed.
No,
'Cause now they're building
gonna go to
on-
Mirage. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess we'll add something new to our skyline.
Have you haven't been to South Florida to see that guitar, right? Have you seen the guitar
No.
in Florida? It's
massive.
amazing.
Is it?
It's
Is it?
amazing.
It's massive, yes.
The lights at the top shoot all the way to the sky,
Mhm.
kind of like
Oh,
what
the
Luxor
Luxor does?
But
Okay.
it's the strings of the guitar.
Oh, cool.
It's really good.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that'll be a nice addition to our
Yeah,
little city.
for sure.
Where's been your favorite property to work at?
Palms.
Palms. Wow.
Oh, really?
Okay.
It was
Palms
the
is,
Palms.
yeah.
Palms.
is
Playboy Club, yes.
Yeah.
the
it's been your favorite one?
Playboy Club. Yeah.
It took me a minute to get in there. I guess the lady who was hiring she wasn't a happy person to begin with, but whatever. I had interviewed, and nice boss I had, his name CJ, he interviewed me. He's like, can you handle, he goes, you got 4 kids, you can handle like drama.
Right.
It's like those girls are nothing but drama up there and blah, blah, blah. They were not drama.
Yeah.
They were all great girls.
Mm.
A lot of them first time dealing, of course,
Mhm.
because they weren't picked for dealing. But a lot of them had some dealing experience, but they were just all a good group of girls. I mean, of course, there was 2 of them that were the mean girls that would do dirty pranks to the other ones.
They did prank.
Pranks, like what is
Well,
that?
because, okay, so we open the Playboy Club every night at 8 p.m. and we would close usually 4
Okay.
a.m. But I mean, depending on.
How busy it was, yeah.
So the girls would have to be dressed, and they stayed in a room. It was on the 35th floor. That was the Playboy Bunny room. So they could go break there, and they don't have to mingle with the other people or whatever. And when you have a group of girls like that in one room, things are gonna happen. So, and it was 2 specifically. I remember they were just the mean girls, and she used to get so mad at me. She's like, Victoria, I can't stand that one chick, and she looks at me. She'll be like, oh, why am I talking to you? You get along with everybody. Fuck you. I'm not talking to you. And she was. I mean, I did. I got along with everybody,
Yeah.
but it was just funny how together they were like pure evil, but separate they were nice. They were nice girls. You know what I mean? But I just
Yeah.
thought it was
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
amusing to me. I don't.
Yeah.
You just laugh about it. Those girls were not laughing back then, but they've all moved on.
Yeah.
Got married,
Now
had
it's all in the
kids, had a
Mhm.
life. Some stayed in the business, some didn't. I miss them. We were like a big family. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
And,
really only heard good things
Me
about the Playboy
too.
Club.
And I like that you said that everyone talks about how party pit girls are drama, and coming from Victoria, we're not drama. It's just like some weird.
Well, no, those are
stereotype
haters.
we
You
No.
just
get.
have, yeah,
get
when
this
you just
So
have
those
stereotype,
were the
right?
haters
Yeah.
downstairs, right?
Oh yeah.
So girls who applied, who didn't get in, who
Yeah.
See?
were turned down,
Oh.
right? You're always gonna have your haters. They're gonna be
Mhm.
hating. So they'd be like, "Oh, those girls are nothing but a bunch of bitches." Well, no, you
Yeah.
didn't take the time to get to know them. You can't say that.
Right.
Right.
But they made money.
Yeah.
Those girls made money,
Absolutely.
and it was funny because, back then these guys, they're idiots, right? So
Yeah.
they would tip.
They still are.
Yeah.
All guys are still idiots. I'm sorry. So they would tip, and it'd be a $500 table,
Mhm.
and they put $500 out for the girls, and the girls were like, like it was nothing.
Like it was nothing. We were
So
but I
good.
loved it. I was like, "Hello."
Yeah,
you see?" And
that's so good.
She's
to
like,
act
"Yeah,
like
whatever." She's like, "Whatever. Okay, all right, whatever."
Well, so at the Playboy Club, you were a supervisor.
I was.
When did you transition from dealer to supervisor? What made that decision?
Okay, so when I started dealing, we made envelopes every day, so we got money,
Mm.
right? So we had to start. When you dealt, you didn't usually start on the strip. You had to go downtown to start.
Right.
I had the opportunity to start at Barbary Coast, which was on the strip, but still ran by Gone, making $40 a day in tokes,
Okay.
$4.25 an hour. That was minimum wage back
Oh
then.
my goodness.
Mhm.
Okay.
So at the time, $145 on the floor was much more money.
Right.
And for some reason, my supervisors liked me and they made me a supervisor. And I got lucky and they hired me as a floor supervisor at the Venetian, which was a well paying job, which
Mm.
was a very lucrative, as in benefits and stuff like that. It was very nice. It was very
they're
nice.
one of the best places to
But when
fly
we
in.
opened, they had issues, just like
Oh,
every casino
yeah.
has issues.
Yeah.
And when I would drive up Spring Mountain over that hill to the Venetian, remember, this is before Palazzo, so
Mhm.
it was
okay,
all
yeah.
desert right
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
And you just get angry. You just get angry.
Because you know it's gonna be bullshit.
Because, it's going to be bullshit day all day, right?
Yes.
And we were all young. When me and my friends opened the Venetian, we were all in our early 20s, making buku bucks. We partied like it was 1999. It was 1999. We partied like crazy.
So when we say it, we're partying like you.
Yes.
Yes, you're partying like us, like
Yeah.
1990. Like I got day shift. It was great.
Oh, nice.
My sisters were nice, and they would babysit for me. I'd go to the club,
Absolutely.
C2K.
There you go.
It was an interesting time, and when I would go with my other sister, we'd go out. We got recruited by MTV. I don't know if you ever remember a show. What was it called? The Beach House Party. They would have during the summer. They had a show.
Oh, I feel like I know what you're talking about.
So we got recruited. We got found at C2K one night, and they asked us to go. They would take a tour bus to San Diego. We would film,
Oh.
but it was for the special Cisco Shakedown.
I think I know exactly which one you're talking about.
So me and my sister, you can see us with their big hair and our bikinis dancing in the clubhouse.
Is that on
That was
YouTube?
a day.
I was like, we're
Can
gonna have
we
to find that.
it?
We're gonna have to find
If you
that.
can
I'm
find
sure-
it, let me know.
I'm sure,
'cause-
I'm sure if it is, it's on MTV.
Yeah.
It's on MTV.
Yeah, so it was a Cisco Shakedown contest, and the girl on the bus with us, which was a Small Worlds, dated. It was a band here that used to play at the Huntridge, a rock band, and she dated the lead singer, who was my sister's ex. So Small World. We were all on the same bus, and
Whoa.
we were all friends and stuff. She won the Cisco Shakedown contest.
wow.
Yeah,
She did?
she won it.
Oh, we gotta
so,
find
Good for,
this
I
video.
know. I was like, we
Yeah,
need to find it.
it was good times back then.
Have to paste the clip at the end of the
Yeah, it was good
podcast or
times.
something.
So then you were a floor from then on out. You never went back to dealing.
No, I
after
did go
that?
back to dealing. I actually, it was just a chance that I walked into the Suncoast. It was brand new. I went with my niece. We walked in, and I knew the casino manager and the president of hotel. They were my friends from Barbary. So he's like, casino manager, I need double deck dealers. I have no good double deck dealers. Back then, it was still pitch. I said, so hire him. He goes, yeah, come. And I said, okay. So I was goofing. I said, okay, I want day shift. I want these days off. He goes, done. You're hired. Go get your shit downstairs. So I'm like, I have to give Venetian 2 weeks. He's like, fuck the Venetian. I said, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck the
Yeah.
You're
Venetian.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was funny because it was the same HR lady downstairs that was at Barbara. She remembered me. She had already had
Aw.
my information. So I was
So
already hired.
amazing.
But I walked in that day the next week, and the shift boss looked at me and he goes, who the hell are you? And I said, I'm your new dealer. He goes, I didn't hire you. And I said, you're right. And I said, Anthony did, so you might want to go.
Talk
Ask
to
him.
him.
I was
Yeah.
like, go ask
So,
him.
yeah, he didn't like me ever since then, but everybody else I knew. And it was nice still because we picked up envelopes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I liked it because you had cash on you.
Yeah. So you guys would
day,
just
yeah.
divide your chips up.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then
go-
your measly 2-week paycheck was like
Whatever,
280
yeah.
bucks.
You wouldn't even
some
pay attention
bullshit,
to that,
yeah.
because it was taxes taken out
Right.
and stuff. But and then a year and a half later, I'm standing on the table and they come up to me and they're like, you start cocktails next week. And I'm like, what? said, I can't do cocktails. And I'm going to tell you, I'm glad I did, though. I'm glad I tried it for a year. I made money.
Really?
Yeah.
I made money at Suncoast. And I'm going to tell you, the most money I made when I went extra board, because, you have to work all shifts when you go extra board.
Which is on
I
call.
took the ladies, she went on vacation, day shift sports book. Easy. $500 days.
Yeah. Wow.
It was insane. And back then, that was a lot of
That's
money.
a lot of
I
money.
mean,
Yeah.
That's decent money right now,
Yeah,
too.
even now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Walking out with 500.
And I said, no wonder
great.
why this lady doesn't want to leave the session.
Yeah.
I was like, why you
Yeah.
gotta work? But it was, yeah. But then players, yeah, I can't handle that. I can't handle it. And I wanted to hit somebody with my cherry, and I said, I'm done.
That was the day you were
That was,
like...
that was the day I was done. I took some time off.
Okay, so you
Nice.
said you opened the Venetian. Did you open any other properties?
Wait, yeah. How many?
No. I came in right after they opened Playboy Club. So I was like
Okay.
towards the
Okay.
beginning.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They already had their clique. So when I came in, I was the,
You were the outsider.
yeah.
You had to get
But
did you get hazed in?
you could say that.
We all get hazed in.
You could say
when
that.
you're the
yeah.
newbie, you get hazed in.
Yeah, because the guys who were up there, they were more interested in who they were going to date. And of course, it's not going to be you and your velvet smoking jacket supervisor. It's going to be
A girl.
nice girl in a bunny suit, right?
Oh, I was hoping to know what the audition process was like for that.
Okay, yeah, let's get
Do you-
into the
do you know
Playboy
what
Club.
the-
Let's get really into it now. Was there a strict hiring process for these girls?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, let's backtrack a little bit more and be a little bit more general. So it was on the top floor of Palms.
Right, yeah, let's
Right?
do that.
Not the top. Moon was the top. We were
Oh,
right
Moon was the
underneath.
top. Okay.
Mhm.
So Moon is
So
the
there was an
top.
escalator that connected us. So if you come up the elevator, you paid
Mhm.
$60 cover. You could go either up all the way up to Moon and then take the escalator down to Playboy. And most nights we were at capacity. It was just wall to wall people.
Yeah.
Wall to wall people. And loud music. DJ was on the other side. At some point, we had a lot of tables. As the industry started dying, though, the tables started becoming minimal, and we couldn't. I want to say how. I don't know. It was just like it was a change.
Yeah.
Towards the middle of it, or towards the end of the Playboy. But in the beginning, because it was such a big deal with Hefner's show, he was a big part of it. So these girls that were brought on, of course, was based on their looks and their personality, right? And if you dealt, that was a plus. But then you were taught how to deal. I don't think they were too interested in teaching them the right way to deal, but they taught them how to deal.
Like good enough. And it was just blackjack?
Just blackjack.
Just blackjack.
Okay.
Okay.
We did have a roulette table. We usually had a man there. We had the best male roulette dealers I've ever been with. And a couple of them are at Cosmo right now.
Really?
Why do you feel like just because the
Um,
standard there was so high, they just had really great dealers, or do you just?
No, they just happen to be really.
Oh, they were just
Oh,
really
they just
good
sent it
roulette
to the
dealers.
page.
They just happen to be really, really good.
Oh wow. Okay.
You know, with customer everything. Just very to be in that environment. Period. It's dark. It's loud. And literally, it's a club, and to be able to deal in that situation is, amazing for those girls in any situation. You have men who are trying to grab their tails over the table. I'm surprised I haven't got fired, but I grabbed a couple of people and stopped them. I grabbed them by the hand. I'm
Yeah.
like, don't you touch the girls. I'm like, no. And, you'd have 9 group security there, and I'd have to flag them down and be like, get them out.
Wow, yeah.
It was just like a big family. So we shared security. It wasn't Palm security. It was 9 group security. So
Okay.
Moon used 9 group for the cocktail waitresses in Playboy and like the Moon workers, the service girls, whatever they were. And it was just like one big family. We all took care of each other.
That's good.
Aw.
Yeah.
We all looked
that's
out for each
nice.
other because
That's really good,
that's
yeah.
what we had. You know?
Yeah.
They were really, really good guys on in 9 group.
So you had to have the look.
You didn't necessarily have to know how to deal.
Did not have.
Was there, before they went on the floor, I don't know if you know this, was there like a check? Did they have a house mom in the back? Was anybody going your hair, your makeup?
So, okay, the girls were allotted $100 a day for hair and makeup.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
Hold on.
I knew that one.
I didn't know about this.
I knew that one. I heard about that from
Yes.
someone.
Okay, $100 a day per diem, but where would they get their hair and makeup done at?
They had to do it.
So these girls are making money just purely off of their $100 a day. Because
So
if you think about it,
so
it's not going to cost that.
the rumors back then were that the girls made their own toques. They did not. They filtered downstairs. So those dealers downstairs and the girls upstairs pooled.
Oh, they
24. So it was a
pooled.
pool. But don't get it. They made money.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
you're talking a
everyone-
minimum 1,000 on a weekend minimum.
Oh, wow. Money.
You're talking money.
I know. Can we redo it again?
Yeah, we need to
Let me write a
figure
letter.
out how to do this again.
I'll write a letter to Playboy.
It's money that
Yeah.
they made. I mean, there was a
Okay.
couple of days. They had big players,
Mhm.
but they would have on top of that $100 extra for their hair and makeup, and it
That's
was
hair,
up to
makeup,
them.
and
It was
nails.
up to them to be.
Yeah.
to make sure that they had. Okay.
They were pretty good. They had like I don't know if you say a head Playboy girl,
Mhm.
nice girl, kind of the leader because I think that was Maloof's favorite girl. She also was in the magazine because some of these girls did get picked for the actual Playboy. They post. I had the magazine. My teenage sons had got a hold of it at that time.
Ugh,
I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay.
dang it.
Yeah, dang it is right. They even signed the book for me. I thought it was phenomenal.
Oh,
They all looked
man.
good. It was fantastic for them
Yeah.
because that's what they wanted, and but the girls were really good about it. So they always made sure they had their hair and makeup done, and that their suits were to a T or whatever. They would always be getting fitted or whatever, and it was a real Playboy bunny suit. They had the
Was it?
cuffs,
Okay.
they had the cuffs, the bow
And the
tie,
yeah.
and it was really.
I know that they had to take it off and leave it there every night.
Every
They
night.
couldn't. They
yeah.
weren't allowed to take it with them.
Oh, those girls couldn't wait to take that bustier
I'm
off
sure.
on break.
Sure.
I'm sure
Yeah.
I've seen
They-
like the real.
Yeah,
I've
they
seen
just
the
rip it
real
off.
bunny suits, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that would be
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
Like
Well-
just uncomfortable.
Yeah, they look
Is the
like
thing.
so.
One of
And
the
they're
girls,
not flexible, yeah.
One of the girls, I think it popped out her implant, the bony. Yeah.
It popped her implant.
Yeah.
Oh my
Whoa.
gosh.
Not like pop, but it
That's
moved
good.
it out of place.
Moved
because
it,
of
yeah.
bony.
Oh,
From what I heard, I didn't ask, but there was a lawsuit with that. I don't know. what
Oh,
happened.
okay.
So, but yeah,
I'm sure she just needed it paid for.
Right.
I would be pissed too.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
just want it paid for. Honestly, I would just be like, I
Fix
just want
it.
you guys to cover
Yeah.
And then
cover
I need to
the
go back to
damage.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe give me my paycheck for the week so I can rest, and then I'll come back.
Mhm.
That's all I would ask for.
Okay.
That's
And then did you have any standards set by the club in general of what you had to look like as a supervisor?
Yeah, they tried. I mean, I was young. I mean, I did my hair and makeup anyways.
Did you
Not-
have
not
male
like now.
supervisors there too?
It was mostly male. It was only
Oh,
two
okay.
females
Okay.
at that time.
Oh,
It was
okay.
me and my best friend. She wasn't my best friend when I met her, but
That's usually how it works.
she was the nice one and I was not the nice one.
Mm.
So, I probably
Complimented
still
each
am
other.
not the nice one. It was funny how we met because, we'd carry our purses. We'd have to carry them upstairs. We didn't have like lockers or whatever. And we put them in the podium. And I had put my purse in the podium. Probably was like my second night there. And she had complained to one of the bunnies that, oh, she put her purse. That's where I put my purse. She was bitching. So one of the evil ones I was talking about, she wanted to start drama. She was like, hey, she's bitching. You put your purse there. You should have asked. Da, 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 da. And so I went up to her. I said, do you have a fucking problem?
Right.
And she's like, what? Like, she was not so confrontational.
Pretending. Yeah.
And then after that, we were best friends. And she's like, I didn't mean anything. But yeah, okay, well, But first time I got there, because the guys were like, they thought they were gods. I don't freaking know what their problem was. But I mean, we all got along at the end.
I'm sure they all had very big heads from working at
from
Playboy
being
and then
there,
being around
yeah.
all the girls.
Well,
and all
because
the
I think
famous
they
people.
wanted the guys to have a certain kind of look, of course.
Okay.
There were good looking guys up there. Not going to say that they weren't good looking. They were decent looking guys. Not my flavor, but whatever. So, they thought they ran the shit, which was fine. One of them did, and towards the end, so it wasn't a bad thing because he actually knew the room, and we didn't want an outsider. We didn't like outsiders.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I guess you could say I was kind of hazed. So yeah, so they made me do all the bitch work. That was my hazing. You know, like we open it and closed every day, so I would have to get the cart with all the money.
Yeah.
Because they took the trays out every night.
Oh, they took the trays out
Oh,
too.
Couldn't
interesting.
have money.
They
Couldn't
took the
have
racks
money.
out,
So
okay.
your racks would
Oh.
have to come out. So every night, even if we closed at 4, I would still be there because I would have to take the racks
All the
out.
yeah.
And then we'd have to wait for tow committee, and then we'd have to go down to soft count. And we'd have to do this every night. So when I would get to work, I'd have to grab the cart. And when it's crowded, when you're 4 line deep, and at the time it was funny because security, I think we just started getting those little boombox speakers at that time. And he's like, I'm just going to start playing Move, bitch, get out the way. Because, you know, gaming laws, you're not allowed to stop on the floor when you have money like that. So you have to keep going.
Okay.
So, you know, we're like pushing people like linebackers.
me,
We're like,
move.
get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
Hey, we weren't nice about it. You know, we're like, fucking move. Like, yeah. So I did that every night. But we also partied all the time. Like, you
Right.
couldn't talk to people because it was so loud and dark. People would be like, and I'd be like, what? I don't know what the fuck you just said. So you couldn't hear them. So I danced all night because it was like a club. So it was like my
Aw,
partying
yeah.
all night. And I have the girls dancing. We'd all be dancing in the pit. And one night, my boss comes over to me. He goes, Surveillance called me. And he said, you know what, Victoria? He goes, just to let you know, Surveillance doesn't get sound. And I'm like, okay.
Oh,
He goes,
so they just see
he
you
goes, you look
dancing?
like, you look like you're having seizures on the floor when you're popping around. He goes,
my God.
he goes, but the funny thing is that you actually do your work. I'm like working and doing and dancing. And I was like, oh, well, I'm not gonna stop. So they tried to make me stop. But
Should make you
To
stop dancing.
Yeah.
That's silly.
But that was like our
That is
universal
silly, yeah.
talk for customers. You know what I mean? How do you
Yeah.
get customers to join in? You do
You
a
have to
little
be
dance
fun,
and they'd be
yeah.
like having fun and everybody was having fun. The girls were having fun. Just it was yeah. A couple of times, you know, it'd get intense with stupid drunk people. You know. A couple fights here and there.
So I
Not
always,
that bad.
I always pictured it like very exclusive, but it wasn't really.
No, because I went
There
up
was
there.
a back part.
You went to Playboy Club?
I went to Playboy
Oh
Club.
my goodness.
Yeah,
The back part
Riverside.
could be
Okay.
at the fireplace pit. If there was a star in there, he refused to have anybody go through there, and that's the way we had to walk to get to our break room or wherever we needed to go. And when he came, he had it blocked off when we weren't allowed to go back there at all. And what a pain in the ass that was because it was our only way out. And
So you guys would just hang out.
that
in
was
the,
exclusive
in the pits.
in that way. No. So Palms was the last casino to have an actual indoor smoking room.
Okay.
So when we'd have to go smoke, we'd have to go all the way downstairs to smoke. Kind of cheated, and we went in the stairwell, so we didn't have to take the elevator all the way down. So here's my first week at Playboy. The guys were telling me, and I don't know if they told me to be a dick or whatever. I think they smoke back there too, though. But they go, you could go smoke in the back stairwell. So I go back there and I light, and you know, who the hell comes through the fucking door but George Malou from Britney Spears?
Oh,
and I'm like this, and I
my
said,
God.
I'm gonna get fucking fired
Yeah.
tonight, right?
Yeah.
George goes like this. He goes, hey, what's up? I kept walking to Moon, and I said, and I'm like this. I'm like, ah.
Yeah, your life flashed before your
Yeah.
eyes.
So I go to the pit boss and I say, I think I'm gonna get fired. And so,
Tell your boss before it happens.
Yeah,
so
I
nobody's
was like,
surprised.
George is walking, and she goes, what? And I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna get. I never got fired.
There you go.
That's
It's
great.
because you ratted on yourself. They knew
I don't know
before,
what
yeah.
it was. I think he was,
Yeah.
because he had a big crush on Britney Spears.
Yeah,
back
so
then.
maybe he was just too preoccupied.
Maybe. I would thank gosh,
Right.
because that was probably my favorite job in the casino business ever.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. And we had the party girls in the pool downstairs. That was awful. I didn't like that. They weren't like our girls. So towards the end of Playboy, they started hiring girls from that. I don't know if I can say the name. From that.
Oh, the agency?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So
We all know the agency.
we all know the agency. They weren't real bunny girls,
No.
but they wore cheaper version of the Playboy outfit at some point and was downstairs. So yeah, it kind of hurts my heart when they say I was a play. No, you really weren't. No.
Yeah.
So these girls that were actual bunnies were actually handpicked either by Maloof or Hefner, and they were special. They were all special in their own way.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, they were all.
And then who's
I love
Maloof?
that.
George,
You know
George Maloof? No.
Oh.
he's a great guy to work for. Let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
If he was to open another casino, I'd go work for him.
Yeah,
Okay.
everybody, a lot of people.
So
would,
he
yeah.
wasn't like part
He
of
takes
Playboy.
care of his
He did
Pump.
gaming. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's the brothers and then the sister. The sister had the show with the her ex-husband's the plastic surgeon on Botched.
Oh, okay.
So she was married to him. That's the only sister. And then there's 3 brothers. So you had George, Gavin, and Joe. Oh, I'm sorry, there's 4, and Philip. And all nice guys. They're all nice guys. And Mama Maloof. That's the only time you couldn't fuck around was when Mama Maloof was around. But you knew when she was
Understandably,
around.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden you'd be standing there and you'd be sweating and you'd be like, oh, fuck, Mama Maloof is coming.
You could
Because she
just
wanted the
feel her.
heat on. She wanted the heat
Oh,
on.
okay.
I thought her energy was so intense.
You
to
just
your
wanted
body.
the heat. She wanted the heat on, and all of a sudden we'd be standing there just dripping, and we're like, "What the fuck's going on? Oh, Mama Maloof's coming!" So we all had to
Everyone, yeah,
straighten up.
Hands on the table.
Yeah,
So why was George so great?
George took care of his employees.
Oh, okay.
He really, really, even when he owned Fiesta on Rancho, he took those employees and took them over to the Palms. He just is a really, really good guy to work for, I think, in my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always hear good things about
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. I really like him. That was probably my favorite job.
Okay, what I want to ask is, how involved was Hugh Hefner in the Playboy Club?
Ooh.
At the very beginning, he was very involved.
Mhm.
Maybe might have lasted for a year. He would make visits with the
Mhm.
girls, of course. He had special occasions. He had Kim K's birthday. Hefner would come. Any kind of stars or anything like that, he would show up with the girls, of course. The girls next door.
That's his thing. He likes celebrities.
But I'm gonna tell you, he was a frail old man then.
Ugh.
He was very frail. He was very small.
Mm.
Kind of scary looking.
Really? I mean,
It was
well, now
kinda-
we
it
know
was
a
kinda-
lot.
But it was. I felt bad because he was just, and he didn't like to stay up late. He had a rule.
Yeah.
That rule did stand for all those girls that they,
They couldn't be out past
yeah,
9, I
yeah.
think it was.
and
Yeah.
that's how he
Wow,
was.
that's early.
He would make a special appearance.
curfew.
Yeah, he had
I didn't
curfew,
know. I
and
didn't know
the only
that.
time he would do that was, like I said, like special occasions. If they were celebrating something, like we had Midsummer's Night.
Oh, you guys had
Mm.
Midsummer's Night? I don't
We were the
remember that,
first
but-
ones to have Midsummer's Nights.
Oh, wow.
So crazy party, girls,
Yeah.
thongs, pasties, barely there, whatever,
Mhm.
clothes, men, same thing, speedos, whatever.
Yeah, because at the mansion, that was one of their
It was
biggest
huge.
parties.
So he
Mhm.
showed up for the first one. And he would stay out past 8:00, of course, but I don't think he was too happy about
he
it.
wasn't
Right.
happy.
But we had a lot of stars go through there, and he wasn't that involved. Now he had to be, because of his name, the trademark. We could only do so much because George paid for that name.
Mhm.
So like down to the costumes, even our jackets, even we wore smoking velvet jackets, black ones. And I still have mine. I don't want the boss to know.
Oh.
There
I'm
you
supposed
go.
to turn them in. Shh.
I don't think
I was
they
like,
care
I
at
wonder
this
if you could
point.
sell that for something.
I would never sell that. In
No.
a
I
million
wouldn't either.
years.
I
I would-
wouldn't either, but I wonder if it was
Yeah.
worth something.
Earned that jacket. I love that jacket. It was my favorite. It was black with the red trim, satin red trim. I freaking love that jacket. I
Oh.
even have my silk pajamas from the Jimmy Jams and the Midsummers and all that kind of
Oh,
crap.
that's awesome.
That was just so memorable and embedded in my brain. It was just a fantastic time, and I made really good friends through those girls.
Mhm.
You know, we don't talk every day because everybody has lives,
Right.
right? So now they have kids, and my kids were young back then, and they're just having them. So it was
Okay.
a little
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
I like to say I'm old. I'm not that old, but I just had my kids young, so it was different for them. But it was very careful what we could or couldn't do. So now in gaming, you're not allowed to have nudity.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Okay.
It's against Nevada gaming.
Oh.
So we had
Okay.
the wall of Playboy, the magazine
Right.
of the girls. They were blurred out because it was by the it was by the table.
Oh,
so
not even photos.
I thought when you said that, I
No,
thought
we
you
had
were
the-
just
we-
saying
we-
that
we had the
people couldn't be
photos,
nude.
right? We had the photos, the naked photos. The ones that were actually in the magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Blurred, TNA.
That's interesting. I
But
didn't
if you
know
go to the
those.
bathrooms,
Uh-huh.
it was the same. They could show full on nudity, which we
Mm.
had. We had all the magazines plastered on. Playgirl, Playboy.
Mm-hmm.
We had both.
I thought, when you said nudity, I thought it was people.
Yeah, I thought you meant like the girls couldn't be nude.
Well, it's true.
yeah.
Those girls couldn't either. Technically, I could not have them sit in my chairs. Because here in a thong is bare ass on my chair.
Yeah.
So technically, I wasn't allowed to have them on my tables. But when you would tell them, and they were funny, they were smart. They sat on their man's lap.
Yep. There you go.
So couldn't say nothing.
Don't ever underestimate women.
Don't ever miss it. It was awesome. It was fun. I don't want to be a party pooper anyways. So
Right?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I probably that would have been a hard rule for me to enforce too.
Right?
it was hard to do any kind of rules in there.
Right? Yeah.
Ooh,
'Cause it's
yeah.
just a party.
Let's okay, so you saw Hef. Did you ever talk to him?
No.
Oh, you never talked to him? Was he approachable or was he just completely
Not approachable. Was not approachable. He was surrounded by tons and tons of bodyguards, escorted. Did not want to. I don't even think he really looked at anybody.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't think any of the stars did. Ben Roethlisberger, is that how you say his name? The Steelers dude.
Yeah.
He's played up there. Dana White.
Yeah.
Those guys are actually personable. They were very, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys you could talk to. When I saw Kim K, she's tiny, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen her. She lives in Mountain Blue.
She was surrounded by 20 million bodyguards. Couldn't talk to her. Was unapproachable. Who else was there? There's a lot of unapproachable people up there. I actually say my claim to fame. Carmen, what's her name?
The girl who did MTV Spring Break.
Yes.
Yep.
What's her name?
Car-
Carmen.
Oh, she has a really good famous name. Like
She
it rolls
does.
off the tongue really easily. Carmen Electra.
Oh, Carmen Electra.
Carmen
Oh,
Electra.
duh.
Carmen
Yeah, I know
Electra.
Carmen. I'm like,
She was
Carmen
being a
Electra.
special, how do you say? She was a special guest dealer.
Oh, what? How did Nevada Gaming like that?
So it was private. It was closed.
Okay.
She technically there was no real money involved. So
Okay.
she was
Okay.
able to deal the cards. And they picked me to stand behind her to be her supervisor. So in a lot of those pictures of Carmen, you see me back there.
You're just standing
I'm
there.
just standing, and I'm like this because I wasn't prepared. Mind you, I've never been through anything like that. And they're
Yeah.
like, "You're back there," and I'm like, "I don't want to be." So whatever. So I go back there, and she's on the head table, and got all the press and everybody sitting there, and famous people sitting right there waiting for her to deal. And all I see is click, 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 click. So now I'm blinded. So now you got tons of pictures of me going, what the fuck?
We're gonna
So,
find
like,
them. We're gonna find them.
That's great.
And it was just like, oh my God. And she was just having fun and deal. Of course, our real dealers were behind her and it was a big photo op and everything like that. It was a good time. We also had I didn't care for her, but
Cool. Like, who is it?
Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh,
Ooh, interesting.
Ellen DeGeneres.
Okay. That is true when she says, don't look at me and don't talk to my wife.
Oh, I didn't know
Porsche
she
was there, yeah.
I've had my first run-in with a person
Yeah.
like that, and
Yeah.
I thought that was very strange.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay,
So what happens if you look at her?
she eats you.
Are you right? I was like, so what
What
happens if I look at
happens?
Portia?
If I talk to her, if I
I
say
have no
hello.
idea. I didn't want to bother with. I'm not that kind of person. I could
Right.
care less.
Right, yeah.
But I just
Yeah.
wonder because I've heard that a couple of times about celebrities who are in town and people who like bump into them because when in Vegas you meet everybody, you see everybody, and I just wonder like, okay, so you don't want me to make eye contact with you or talk to you, but
But I think it's different
But
because
how-
we're working, so we're part of the
Right.
staff. at
Right.
that
So
point.
they think that we all
For
have that, which we
them.
do have that rule.
Right, yeah.
Don't act like an asshole when you see a superstar. You know,
Right.
don't take
Right.
pictures.
don't fangirl.
Don't be
Yeah.
yeah. I can tell you though, I was not in Playboy at the time. I was downstairs in the high limit room at Palms, the
Mhm.
Mint, and had Lady Gaga for a Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Oh,
What a classy lady.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
I
great.
love that woman.
I love this. Okay.
She spent the whole day with me. She invited me to on her private jet. She was gonna cook me roast beef, and I was like, I told my boss, I said,
I gotta
going
go.
on.
you're like,
I gotta
listen,
go.
I gotta go.
Gotta-
I gotta
I
get
gotta
Lady
go.
Gaga's roast beef.
I want to go now. Like, you know, she did not have like her makeup on,
Mm.
but she had one of her little whatever outfits. Not a crazy outfit, just a plain. Beautiful. She's beautiful porcelain skin. She was just beautiful, natural.
Mm.
Inside and out, she was beautiful. Her, I adored.
Has there been anybody else that you thought would be an asshole that you were surprised wasn't, or even vice versa?
No, they're all pretty much assholes.
Yeah.
I love that Lady Gaga's a good
The
person.
sweet-
Evander
Yeah.
Holyfield. I don't know if you guys know him. He's a
Mhm.
boxer.
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart.
Okay.
Oh, he is.
He used to play roulette upstairs at Playboy. He's a very, very nice gentleman. Usher. I
Mhm.
grew up with Usher. Me and Usher are the same age. So when his album came out, he was 14. I was 14. And I was like, I love this man. He could dance. He could sing. He was dancing one night behind my roulette table. And I was like, what the? I was like, I want to touch Usher.
You're
Yeah.
like,
so
hold on.
close.
He said, I was like, let me touch. But, you know, can't be a fangirl, right?
Right.
So,
It's the number one no.
the number one no. And I also try to stalk Justin Timberlake back in the day. We had the VMAs there. And all the stars were there. Most of them were up in the moon and rain and in the clubs. Not so much a Playboy, but apparently Justin Timberlake was. And he was on our dance floor in Playboy. And security was trying to hold me back. They're like, no, Victor. Can't,
Victoria, don't
can't,
do it.
Don't do it.
Don't lose your job.
And I was like, no, but it's Justin Timberlake.
Right? I would have
Yeah.
been like, it's Justin Timberlake. I'm losing my job for this.
Yeah, it was fun times though back then. There's a lot of people we met. A lot of people that
There is a specific story. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm just going to say he's an Olympic gold medalist. Did he really run across the tables naked?
not while I was there, no. If he did run across the tables, it was up in Moon. It was not our tables.
Okay.
Did Moon have?
They didn't have blackjack, but you know,
Oh, just like the normal
the
table.
normal.
Yeah.
We had a catwalk as well.
Oh, maybe it
So,
was that.
you know, where you had your tables and you had the main dance floor, you had booths and tables on the
Mhm.
side. You had a catwalk that only girls were allowed on to dance.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
So
They have that at Tao, I think.
Yeah.
yes, they do have it at Tao,
Yeah.
but Moon was a lot bigger because, of course, it was in the middle and the ceiling would
Ceilings are
open,
huge. Yeah.
So you're.
and it was just phenomenal. We used to, believe it or not, close Playboy and go up to Moon
I heard
until
about
the
this.
lights go on. But we'd go party after work
Yeah. I heard
because
about
they had
that,
they had a table for the girls, so
Oh,
we'd always
okay.
go
So you
upstairs.
go upstairs.
Always, yeah, always.
Did the girls party with the celebs?
The guests.
Some of them did. Some of them did, yeah.
Was that
not too
frowned
much.
upon?
No,
No.
not frowned upon. No, not frowned upon. Sometimes they had to, for promotional purposes. It was pushed at some point that they had a table at every club because it was a promotional thing for Playboy.
Yeah.
Oh,
So the girls
nice.
would go and party. They would have everything comped, of course, in their own table. And, go to Playboy. Come see us at Playboy. That was at the beginning. That was a thing.
That's nice. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Just being able to walk into any club and know that you have a table
At the
reserved.
table.
That's
I
wild.
think that was a thing up until COVID, honestly. Because I remember when I worked at the strip club, we would regularly have outings. And when we opened the pool during the summer, it was mandatory that you'd go once a week. It was like a mandatory
Yes,
thing.
I
Like
remember
the
that.
girls had to go once a week. And that was 2017, 18, 19. That was not that long ago. So...
You could thank Playboy Club for that. They probably
Yeah,
started
there you
it.
go. Probably.
Yeah,
They probably
that's a
did.
good marketing
Yeah.
tactic.
Great marketing, yeah. It was good. It was
Yeah.
a good thing, yeah.
And it was like the same thing, like the strip clubs, the girls would try and bring guys like back to the club, and they'd get paid for like the guy, however many guys they bring in the door.
Oh, that's
kind of
been going
thing.
on forever,
Smart,
though,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. We would put them on the bus with us, and we would take them back
Yes.
to the club.
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yep. Okay, I need to know like something wild as fuck.
Yeah, what's the wildest thing for you that you saw happen?
Let's do Playboy Club, and then let's do general over
Generally,
your
yeah.
career.
I don't know if I've seen anything too wild at Playboy Club.
We're desensitized though, so imagine somebody who's not in the industry.
Yeah, imagine someone who's from Buckfuck, Iowa, and
Hey, that's
his closest neighbor is 10 miles away.
Yeah. He's never seen a girl in a bikini, not at a pool.
Not
Well,
online.
I mean, okay. One of my friends, he was security, 9-group security. He's a big guy, big guy, right? Over 6'5" or whatever, 6'8", strong.
Wow.
He's carrying this little girl, Asian girl in white dress. Throws her down on the ground, and I said, "What the fuck?" I look. He goes, "This bitch just pissed on me." And she peed all over. She was conked out, unconscious, drunk.
Who is it? Who was it?
Was that the story that I told you about with that guy who did security and this like beautiful Asian woman in a white dress?
in a white dress? Is
Well, I don't know if she was beautiful. She was a young girl. I didn't get to
was
see
younger,
her because her hair was all in her face.
I
but
have a friend who actually still works at Palms.
yes.
Oh my
But
gosh,
I worked-
this might be a...
This might be like a small world
It might
incident
be.
thing. And I asked him because he's done security all over the world. And I was like, I know you have crazy stories. Tell me one of your crazy stories. We talked about it on an episode. And he said that the craziest thing he'd ever seen was he was at some nightclub
doing
and
security. Yeah.
doing security. And this beautiful Asian woman in a white dress comes up, picks up her dress and squats and takes a shit right in front of the bar.
Oh, that one I do know. That
Oh,
one I do
okay.
know. But this one's a different one.
Oh my god!
I was like, what are the chances? That's why I freaked out. I was
This
like,
one's a
Krystal?
different one.
I was like, what
Yeah.
if this is
But
the
a lot
same
of people,
story?
A lot of people who drank up there decided to just drop their pants for
And
whatever
just-
reason, just shit wherever. I don't know what the
What?
problem
So
was. That's how
weird.
drunk they were.
Ew.
But yeah, that was like a.
Drugs. That's drugs.
You're right. I'm desensitized. It's like
Yeah,
a.
I know. Yeah, She's like, that was a regular
That was
occurrence.
like a
It's
regular
like,
freaking night.
No, that's weird.
Yeah, but he threw her because he
Oh,
was
he
so
was-
tall.
He was holding her.
He was
She
holding
started
her.
peeing.
And she started to piss all over his jacket. He just went like bam and threw her down on the ground. And I was like, what the fuck? He's like, this bitch pissed on me. And he's like screaming. And he's like, get the fucking wheelchair. And
Get the
It
fucking
was-
wheelchair.
it was hilarious. It was just funny how he did it. I wish I could fucking reenact
Like,
it, but
yeah.
it was hilarious how he
Oh
just
my
dropped her.
God.
He just like threw her like, and I was like, it was a little girl. He goes, but she peed all over me. I'm like, geez, okay. Overall,
Like, never saw anybody snort a line of coke off the blackjack table. Anything?
Wow.
I'm sure you have. It just
that's-
doesn't seem like to
that
you. It
doesn't
just
seem-
doesn't feel crazy. But I'm
People
sure
do coke all the freaking time. I mean, they do it right there. They take their bullet and just right
Mhm.
there on the
Yeah.
table. I mean, they don't have to cut a line and shit. It's
Yeah.
just, it just, and they'd be like white all over.
Mhm.
They'd be like, hey, you know, it's,
Yeah.
yeah. I had a guy, he went to get money off his, out of his pocket. And we were on a lower table. It was like a lower baccarat table. This wasn't at Palms, but his bag of cocaine fell out into the dealer's rack. And the dealer
Jesus Christ.
the dealer looks up at me and he goes, did you want to do something with this? So I was like, oh shit. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I said, I'm gonna act like I fucking didn't see that and you need to get off my table right now.
Yeah.
Because for me it wasn't extreme. It didn't bother me, but it was just how it landed perfect in the rack.
Yeah.
Right when the dealer was trying to get the chips. And he's like,
It was
what
just
the?
right in front.
Right there. He's like,
Perfect
right there. He's like,
setup.
hello, do you want to come and get this?
Oh my gosh.
And I was like,
If
what?
that happened to me today, I'd be like, someone get me off this table right now before I'm
But
arrested.
you know
I'm
what? I
tapping
would
out
do
of
the
this table
same
right
thing.
now.
I would do the same thing. I'd fling it back
I
at
think
him.
that would be
Yeah.
my reaction. Be like,
I
here,
honestly-
take
Yeah.
it.
I would have been afraid to touch it because I would have been afraid to be like that I had possession of it or something if some bullshit happens. I don't know.
surveillance would be able to
faster
see.
than I
Right.
would, yeah.
Surveillance would be able to see that it wasn't yours.
would've
been
Unless
nice.
it was coming out of your pocket. You know what I mean?
It falls out of your.
I know my dick comes out.
I mean, there was a tons of stuff.
That's wild.
I tell you that when I first started dealing, the craziest thing I saw. So I was dealing at Barbary. So now that it's Cromwell Dre. So that back where that garage was an empty lot. That was our parking spot, but it was owned by Flamingo. But us as employees had to park there. So we had parked there one night. We're all leaving, swing shift, 4:00 in the morning. We go out and we look in the car. It's our manager's car. People are starting to leave, swing shift, and they all stopped their car. They got their headlights on it. And some lady, her skirt's hiked up. And her thong, because she ain't got no ass, is perfectly sitting like on her flat ass.
Mhm.
And she's like laying on the car, and we're like on the hood. We're like, what the fuck is this lady doing?
What in the
So
world?
everybody's honking,
Right.
and we're all just watching. And all of a sudden, she gets up, and a fucking midget rolls off the hood from underneath her. And at that moment, our manager comes out. It's his car. He's like, what the fuck? It was his car. That I will never, ever, ever forget. To see this lady get up and a midget roll off, it was the best fucking thing in my life. It was the best fucking
I feel
thing.
like that's straight out of
That's
a
it.
Hangover movie.
That's it. That's
That was
where
the
we have to.
best.
That's
That was the
hysterical.
best, yeah.
And the best part is that the manager walked out right on time.
Right on time.
And then for you
Right
all to
on
see the
time.
manager see it.
And we're all
That's-
honking. Our
that's the
headlights
best
are on.
part.
And we're laughing. We're cheering. We're like rolling. We're just rolling.
Oh my
That is
gosh.
a Vegas story.
That is a
Where
Vegas
else
story.
Did that happen?
Yeah. It was
That's
awesome.
great.
That's crazy.
That's so amazing. I love Vegas.
I know.
That will forever stick in my mind.
That's awesome. Okay. I think we have to stop before we incriminate ourselves.
Let me tell you something though.
Sure.
At Barbary Coast, you got to see a lot more shit
Yeah.
than anywhere else.
Why is that?
Why, yeah.
It was the shithole of the strip.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So we had a lot of crazy people.
A
go
lot of
through there.
crazy stuff.
Plus, we also had $2 silver tables. So
Mm.
back then, we didn't have clay chips. We had real silver chips,
Oh.
real heavy silver chips.
Oh.
Yes, and we didn't have doors back then, so New Year's would be a clusterfuck. And one New Year's, it was. This is when they start with the rule, the doors. If you don't have a room key, you can't get in. That kind of. It was because
Okay.
of this.
Oh.
So at that time, it was New Year's, and it's a small fucking casino. We needed to get to break. We needed to go downstairs to the basement. We couldn't get through because it's just wall-to-wall people, wall-to-wall people. People with fucking strollers. I don't know why. Wall-to-wall people. So people are tripping over each other. I look over, and my shift manager is picking up somebody by the neck and fucking throwing it.
What?
And I'm like, what the fuck? This guy was beating his woman, and he wanted to end it. And the guy pulled a knife, and he just picked him up and threw him. It was just a big brawl. And we're all like, what the fuck? And we're trying to get in the pit. Riot starts. And all of a sudden, you see one of our tables just
Oh my goodness.
flip over
Wow.
right in the pit, and all that silver just flying the freak out. And that's when they started that rule with the next year we
The
had
key.
the key, and we put doors on the casino at that time. It took, but that's how it was. That's how I, in the business, thought of New Year's every year. Just complete madness.
Just, yeah.
Insane. Yeah.
Insane.
I was going to say,
Fun
Vegas
heyday.
really was like the wild, wild west, right?
It
Like,
really
just
was.
the craziest fights and things that
It
you'd
really
see.
was, yeah.
People doing crazy stuff. That's wild. Yeah, I always wondered, like, I feel like if I could time travel, I would probably go back to like early Vegas days, like when the
Yeah.
mob
Oh,
ran it
for
and they had like the back rooms where people could beat up and
Yeah.
just to see, because I know it was just bonkers, like just a lawless place. Like there was just no law.
There's too many rules now.
Interesting. I know now
I mean,
it's so strict and
for the
uptight.
good, but
It's not as rules, but you have spoiled people. So
that too, yeah.
you don't want to piss anybody off. I'm going to HR. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Back then we didn't have HR, and
Right, yeah.
we didn't have that. Like you had it out, you hashed it out. They talked to you. That's how they talked to you.
Mhm.
That's how it was.
Mm.
They kicked you. They kicked you. That means don't do it again.
Mhm.
You know, they push you out of the way, show you how to fucking deal. That's the way it was. So there was no, I broke my nail. I got a boo boo. Can't deal. You know, that kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
So it was good times though. We had a really good time. back
Mm.
then.
So fun.
Yeah, and it is a small world.
Yeah.
Once you're in this business, you pretty
Yeah.
much run
Yeah.
in circles everywhere.
Right.
You know somebody who knows somebody who knows
Mhm.
somebody. Everyone's connected here in Vegas. Everyone.
It really is. I remember when I first moved here, that's what everybody was telling me. Like Vegas is a small, big city, and it
It's a small world.
really is.
We're technically not a city. Now they say we're a city, but when I was growing up here, it was a town. It was a town. You could go anywhere around. There was dirt roads past Rainbow. It wasn't developed. There was no lakes. Spring Valley was the newest thing out there when I was young. The lakes came when I was in high school, you know, and it was a town. You could get everywhere quick. There wasn't a stoplight on every freaking goddamn block.
Yeah.
You could get to the strip in a timely manner. You could walk the strip and not be scared for your life. I mean, it was a different time. It was a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Even downtown, it was great. I don't like the Fremont
The light.
experience thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, it was just a different time. It was good though.
Mm.
It's good. It's still good.
No,
Just
it's still good.
evolved.
It's just a different.
It's a different.
Going forward. You know, bigger and better.
Mm-hmm.
I like where I am. It's a great casino.
Mm-hmm.
It's still same circle of people.
I know, it's wild, yeah.
But it's I'm having fun. It's great.
Still having
Mm.
fun.
Still having
Still
fun.
having fun.
I do love my dealers. They all are spoiled, but I don't care. It's fine.
I know you have a bunch of spoiled dealers.
It's fine. They're meant to be spoiled now.
It's interesting though, like us younger ones are like, we wish it was like back in the day.
Yeah.
Because we would have had
I've
so
just
much
heard
fun.
it. Yeah. I just started a new job somewhere, and I was talking to one of the girls there, and who's worked at this casino for 25 years since the day it opened, and she's like, oh yeah, no, we used to work 2-3 days, and we would go out and we'd all party together and get shit faced, and
Oh yeah.
we'd still be partying an hour before work, and then somehow we'd all show up together
and work.
and
do
we
it
would
again.
she's like, we would make in 2 days what we now have to barely scrape by making 5, making in 5, and she was like, yeah, it was just a different time.
Yeah,
She's like,
different time.
yeah, they all saw each other's kids grow up and they were all pregnant together and everything. They still work together 25 years later.
Yeah.
A lot of them still 25 years later. Yeah, I've heard wild stories. I would love to go back in time and see.
Well, I guess that's what we're
See
kind of
that
doing
era.
with the show.
But you guys are
Yeah.
making your own memories now. Remember this in 25
Yeah.
years.
That's true.
That's true.
That's very true.
I
25
mean,
years,
with
what it'll be
technology
like.
growing and stuff, you guys are going to be the dinosaurs, right? And then
Mhm.
you'll be telling these young people of the new era of dealing,
Mm-hmm.
how it was back then, and these were the days.
Yeah,
and-
when we didn't have smart tables and we had to math roulette.
Yeah, hard math.
Absolutely.
Yay.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Mhm.
This is Changing 100. Follow us everywhere. And don't forget,
That was-
how does it start?
I don't
You've
even
been
remember.
saying it.
I know,
I
I've
haven't
been saying it. Tip your cocktail servers, tip your dealers, and don't walk through the pit.
Bye.